Here's what's happening on this edition of the Center of It All. We take a fly fishing lesson from Fly Fisher's Paradise. Check out a co-op bringing fresh and local food right to your doorstep. And Mel is cooking a pasta meal with a kick. These stories coming up next on the Center of It All. Hello and welcome to the Center of It All. We recently took a trip down to Spring Creek to work on our fly fishing skills.
The sport, or as some would say, the art of fly fishing, is one of the great American hobbies, perfect for anyone looking for a quiet and serene escape. And for those in central Pennsylvania, we are blessed that we have all the resources needed for experts and beginners alike. Take Dennis Charney, an expert guide and instructor who loves to cast people into the fly fishing waters.
I love the opportunity to teach. So nothing thrills me more than to seeing the lights go on and seeing somebody get, some positive feedback in their fly fishing, or just have a good experience with it. So I think fly fishing has a lot of long-standing history, and it's great to be a little teeny part of it at some stage in somebody's life. So I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's pretty special.
Rewarding for a man who picked up the sport from his grandfather and is just grateful to pass on his knowledge to those looking to join the family.
The fly fishing community is a small community of folks. So you bump into somebody, you work with somebody, and you may bump into them 2 years down the road. And it does happen where people are very appreciative and they come back and say, that made all the difference in the world and that made the trip so much more enjoyable. I think anytime when we can further our enjoyment in a sport or an activity, it's a good thing. And you do get that with fly fishing, and you do get that from your students that come back on a regular basis.
Making your first back cast may be intimidating, but so can tying your first sucker spawn as well.
First, it's far from rocket science. There's a lot of people who've managed to fly fishing that are no brighter than any of us. So it's not beyond anyone's capabilities. It's not for everyone, but if you get the opportunity to try it, I think there's a good reason for you to try it. I think it is a nice, rewarding activity. We do a number of different types of classes throughout early in the season. And we do one that's a very 101, a very introductory course that just kind of gives you a flavor of some of the aspects of fly fishing. And you have more advanced classes that are maybe a little more suited to a guy who's been doing it for a while. But it's everything in between. We do classes that are oriented toward the fly tying. We do classes that are geared toward certain types of fly fishing. It really covers the gamut.
Still not ready to pick up the sport? Dennis gives us an abridged version of what you're missing.
First part of it is with fly fishing, it happens in great places. Whether you're on a local trout stream or you're traveling abroad to go to a well-known trout stream, within 40 minutes of downtown State College in a nice campus town, you can be in any number of high-quality trout streams without having to drive very far. So we have those kind of options real nearby, and they are dynamite options. The other part of it is that it's very cerebral. You're part of a system. You're fishing, but you're thinking all the time. You're thinking about where the fish are, the drift, your fly selection. All of these make you a vital part of the system, which I just think is so much more rewarding and more engaging.
Father's Day is a perfect opportunity to pack the car, find a secluded spot, and drift away, all while passing the torch.
Introducing kids to this, fathers introducing it to sons, daughters, I think it's great. I think anytime we can get the kids involved in this, they may not grab a hold of it right away, but you'd like to think that you maybe planted a seed that maybe at some point they want to do it again. And it may happen years down the road. It may happen 2 weeks down the road. But I think any opportunity we can get kids involved and, expand father-son relationships, family relationships on a stream, it's far from a bad thing.
Thanks a lot to Dennis Charney and Fly Fisher's Paradise here in State College. Hope we piqued your interest to take a walk out into the great outdoors. Andrew Callista for the center of it all.
If you'd like to try your hand at fly fishing, visit flyfishersparadise.com or stop in and see Dennis. And when we come back on the center of it all, Mel is cooking up a meal for your late night rendezvous. Welcome back to the center of it all. Now Mel, being the amazing cook that she is, makes a gourmet meal when she gets late night cravings. Let's see what she's cooking up this time.
Here's a subject we haven't discussed on Kitchen Encounters. When you're having a late night snack attack, what do? Wait for delivery? Reheat leftovers? Settle for a sandwich? Not me, baby. I've got the best 15-minute pasta dish ever for your late night TV viewing pleasure. Join me right here at the stovetop for angel hair pasta with vodka sauce. Pasta alla vodka. This dish took New York City by storm back in the 1970s, and pretty soon it was being served in fancy schmancy restaurants all across America. If you're questioning the use of vodka, it's really no different than cooking with wine. When added to a dish, the alcohol either burns off or simmers off. And in terms of vodka, this clear, flavorless liquid actually neutralizes the acidity in tomatoes, which enhances the flavor of the sweet cream in the dish. That's just a little food science tip today. I've heated about 2 tablespoons of EVOO in my skillet atop the stove, and I test to make sure it's hot enough so that when I throw in a few onions, I get a nice sizzle going on. I'm adding about 1/4 cup of minced onion. Feel free to add a little garlic to that if you like. I'm going to spice it up with some garlic powder, red pepper flakes, and sea salt, about 1/2 teaspoon of each. And for herbs, classic Italian, 1 teaspoon of dried basil and 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. And yes, I prefer dried in this dish because the fresh herbs are just way too, they're a little woody and strong flavored when you're cooking, fast cooking, flash in the pan like this. And we're just going to simmer this, actually this is a saute, for about 1 minute, keeping it stirred all the time until the onion just starts to soften. We don't want it to brown. That's looking really good. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of crushed tomatoes, but these are hand crushed tomatoes, and we'll talk about that for a second. I opened a 28-ounce can of really high quality Italian San Marzanos, and what I did was I hand squished them over a mesh strainer. I have the juice from these in my refrigerator, so if I need to add a little bit more liquid to my sauce, I'm going to use that. But I want my tomatoes to be in little bits and pieces. Now we'll turn this down a little bit. I want to get all of these wonderful tomatoes here. I've got 2 tablespoons of tomato paste in the mix. And now, the secret ingredient. 2 ounces of 100 proof vodka. And we're going to let that simmer for just a minute or 2 to allow it to work its magic on the tomatoes. It's going to neutralize their acids. And it's also going to cook off the alcohol. Now, some chefs at this point like to light a match to this. They like to flambe it to burn the alcohol off even quicker. I don't like to do that, and I've done it 100 times, and I'll tell you why. I don't like the little bit of bitterness that flambeing this dish gives to it. I like it a little more subtle, so we're not lighting it on fire. I've got a really good simmer going on here, and I'm going to add a cup of cream, real deal cream. And when this returns to a simmer, we're going to get it to simmer really, really gently for about 3 minutes. And one last ingredient, a 1/4 cup of finely grated Parmigiano Reggiano, the real deal stuff. Let's get this to simmer. And let it go for 3 minutes and our sauce is finished.
When we come back, Mel finishes up her pasta alla vodka. Welcome back. Mel's finishing up her pasta with vodka sauce.
This has simmered beautifully, just about 3 minutes. I'm going to give it a quick stir. You could see how, when you stir through it, you could find some dry spots in the bottom of the skillet. That means it's time to turn it off. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to put it on the back of the stove for 5 or 6 minutes. It's going to give all the flavors time to marry, and in that amount of time, we're going to cook our pasta. I've got about 5 quarts of water in an 8-quart stock pot. I'm adding a tablespoon of salt. You really want to get your salt in the water. Now I'm adding 12 ounces of angel hair pasta. I'm going to keep stirring it till it's all in there. You can use capellini too. Any thin strands will work great for this. I'm going to bring this to a boil, and we're going to watch this really carefully. This is no time to walk away from the stove, because this angel hair pasta is probably going to be ready to be removed and drained in about 2 minutes. I've cooked and drained my pasta and it is steaming hot, and I'm just going to add all of it right to the skillet. And I'm just slowly going to start tossing it in to the sauce. And this angel hair, this could take me a couple minutes to get it all in here, but once it's mixed in, it's time to eat. This vodka sauce recipe was given to me by our son Elliot. Back in the 1980s, he worked at one of Happy Valley's premier Italian restaurants. As a waiter, it was his job to prepare it and serve it at the tables of the customers. The next time you have a late night snack attack, take a page out of my recipe book. Pasta alla vodka.
Just another great meal for Mel. And lucky for me, I got the leftovers. Now when we come back, we're talking food again, but this time it's where to find fresh and local produce. Welcome back. I'm joined here by Michelle Marchetti, a board member for the Friends and Farmers Co-op and also a local food writer. Thanks for coming in today, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
First off, what is a food cooperative?
A food cooperative is a business that's owned, operated, and financed by its members. And a cooperative exists to serve the members and the community that it benefits.
Okay. And how long has Friends and Farmers been around?
Friends and Farmers has been around since 2011, a group formed to talk about the idea of forming a cooperative. From there, it became more official, and in 2013, we incorporated as a Pennsylvania nonprofit, and we launched a membership campaign in 2014.
Now, how is a food cooperative different than a CSA?
That's a good question. We have a lot of people who confuse Friends and Farmers Cooperative with their CSA. A CSA is a community-supported agriculture program, and a lot of people belong to those here, where you buy a share in a local farm, and you go to that farm once a week or once every 2 weeks, and you pick up your big box of local food, whatever the farm has grown for that week. Well, with the Friends and Farmers online market, and also with the grocery store that we will build, you will be buying from multiple farmers and producers, and you will control the quantity. So instead of getting a big box of, chard and kale and zucchini, you might say, okay, I want 1 bushel of carrots and a loaf of bread and a bag of, pasta from Fasta Pasta. So you're still supporting local farmers and producers, but you're just buying from multiple farmers and producers, and you're a part of this cooperative.
You have an online store right now where you can buy local foods and goods?
Correct. We do. We're very excited to launch the online farmers market, the Friends and Farmers online market, which started in November of 2014. We have about 300 items listed on that market, everything from meat and salmon to fruit and vegetables to prepared food to even a body care line with local herbs. So just about everything you would find at the farmers market, plus a few other fun things.
And how many farmers do you have working on this project?
We have right now about 20 farmers who are on the online farmers market, but it's growing every day. The number of items that we offer are growing every day as well. And the great thing about the Friends and Farmers online market is we actually deliver local food right to your doorstep. And we deliver to State College, Bellefonte, Boalsburg, Lamont, and Pine Grove Mills.
Talk to me about how that works, how the delivery process works.
Well, the online farmers market, which is part of the Friends and Farmers Cooperative, like many cooperatives, relies heavily on volunteers. So we have volunteers who are at the Good Shepherd Church in Grays Woods who are stocking boxes for you, making sure your food is prepared and ready to go. And then we also have delivery drivers that we've hired, and we charge $5 for delivery, and so our drivers will come out to your door between 4 and 6 p.m. and maybe 4 and 6:30 p.m. and deliver your food. And if you're not home, you just leave a cooler out back with some ice packs, and we put your food in there, and then you have your food for the week.
Seems like a great idea.
It is a great idea, especially for people who just can't make it to the farmers markets. One of the goals of Friends and Farmers is to really increase the access of local food. And so we really see that we're filling a gap in the local food system by offering this online market to people who really want to support our local farmers, but can never seem to make it to the farmers markets.
And there is a membership that you could become a member of the Friends and Farmers and you get sort of a discount online. Talk to me about that.
True. So the whole end game here is to create an actual brick and mortar grocery store. So we have the online farmers market now, but really that is a stepping stone toward the ultimate goal of creating this actual store where you can go in, and the store really doubles as a community. So this is a store where, sure, you will buy all your local food, but also you might be trading recipes. We envision a community kitchen and inspiring you to eat healthy and support local and really feel like you're part of something bigger. So to become a member of Friends and Farmers, you go online, and an owner share is $300, and that is a one-time investment. It's not an annual fee, and you can pay that through multiple payment plans that we have to fit your budget.
And currently you have somewhere around 300 members, you said?
336 members. Okay. So we are well on our way to the 800 members we need to sign a lease and the 1,200 members we need to open the store. But we really need our community to step up, to invest, and to put gas in the engine to make it go faster so we can open the doors of the store sooner.
Exactly. And do you have any ideas of, what town or what area the grocery store would be in?
Everybody wants to know, where is the store going to open? It's the million-dollar question. The store will open in State College, I can tell you that. Other than that, until enough community members invest in the store, we can't sign a lease. And so while we are out there looking at potential locations, it seems premature to talk too much about, we could be here, we could be there, when we don't have the money we need, the capital we need to sign a lease. So it's kind of a premature question. I know it's a question on everyone's mind, but it will be accessible to bus routes and hopefully even, bike routes. And there'll be plenty of parking, and it will be accessible to many people in this region.
And then will you also be using volunteers at that store? Or are you hoping to be hiring on some workers at that store as well?
Oh my goodness, it's going to be like an actual grocery store, so yeah, we'll have to hire. I mean, one of the great things about a cooperative is the impact it has on the local community. So for every $1,000 that's spent at a food cooperative, $1,600 goes back into the community. So yeah, absolutely. We'll be hiring a general manager right off the bat, but then we'll need volunteers and we'll need more employees, and this thing will keep growing and growing.
this type of organization, it seems like there might be some government funding that you could apply for. Have you tried to apply for any of that funding?
Absolutely. We actually just recently finished writing a very large USDA local food promotion grant, and so we're crossing our fingers, and we should be hearing back from USDA within a few months to find out if we get that. And we are constantly on the lookout for other sources of funding, and also people from the community who would be interested in investing in the idea of this grocery store.
Definitely. And why do you think it's important to buy local?
I think it's important to buy local for so many reasons. One, I think there is nothing better than knowing who is growing your food. The trust that you get when you can look someone in the eye and know that, okay, I know that you grew my food and I know how you grew it, I know where it came from, and I don't have to worry about the food that I serve my kids and that they're going to get sick. That for me is one of the biggest reasons. But also the idea of supporting our local farmers. We live in an agricultural paradise, and if we take our farmers for granted, they might not be here. It's a hard business and we need to support them. And so I love this idea of linking arms with our community members to create something that's going to make a meaningful, transformative impact on our community. I also think that local food just simply tastes better. I mean, if you go to the farmers markets, and we want you to go to the farmers markets, I get a question a lot, is Friends and Farmers competing with area farmers markets? No way. Our whole end goal here is to, increase the market share of local food. So we don't care if you buy your food at the farmers markets or at the Friends and Farmers online market. We really just want you to support your local farmers and enjoy local food, because it really is amazing. When you taste a local seasonal tomato, you will not go back to your grocery store to buy tomatoes again.
Well, this seems like a great organization. I hope you get as much community involvement as possible.
Thank you so much. We hope that people out there are listening will go to our website to find out more. We have many social media outlets that you can get more information. We'll be at the farmers markets this summer. We need volunteers to staff our events, to help at the online market. So we really hope if you're out there and you're listening that you get in touch and you help grow this important local food movement.
Well, thanks for stopping by today, Michelle.
Thanks for having us.
And if you'd like to learn more about this organization, visit friendsandfarmers.coop. And that's all for this edition of The Center of It All. For more great WHVL content, log on to our YouTube page and like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching and have a great week.